Is day 1285, and I am checking TikTok right now because TikTok was kind of going crazy. Um, I was trying to set up the TikTok live so that when I live stream, I can stream to the TikTok account. And I found out that you have to have 10,000 followers on TikTok before you can live stream. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I read. And so we have over 4,000. So please follow if you're listening. Please follow, get your friends to follow so that I could live stream to TikTok to fight for justice for Richard. And not only just for Richard, at this point, over 3 years, it's one, there's so many on my heart. And the latest one, of course, is Glendon Oakley Jr., who was found deceased in his barracks room in April of 2020 after being severely, continuously retaliated against, like Richard, for being a whistleblower, for witnessing, for helping, for being a hero. For being a hero, he was retaliated against swiftly, within hours, within hours, and we have the video evidence to prove it. And I've been meaning to make a TikTok out of it. I've been meaning to make a video out of it. But every time I watch it, it's just so heartbreaking. Maybe somebody out there can make a video of August 3rd, 2019, Glendon Oakley Jr., and then August 4th, 2019, Glendon Oakley Jr., and splice them together because it is so revealing. And maybe it's just me looking at Richard's case for 3 years and being able, I have X-ray eyes now. Even when it comes to redacted material, I have X-ray eyes, and absolutely, I saw these same people that have been, and I don't know if they're the same people. It's the same spirit, the same spirit. But I think there's many of the same people. I would put money on that will harass, that are um, political bullies, political harassers, because absolutely that Walmart mass shooting was orchestrated to tamper with, I believe, politics at the time. Absolutely, I wish I'm going to try to stay away from some choice words, but absolutely they were tampering with the politics at the time. They always do. They always tamper through the media, through different tragedies, or even to orchestrate major crimes and then put a narrative to it that is absolutely false. And I absolutely believe that the narrative that the media, who was failing, the media, especially at that time and even now, they are financially failing. It's kind of like going the way of the newspapers, right? And they're trying to hold on to their funding, and they're trying to get public funding. Um, it was El Paso Matters Bob Moore that went to the IRS that said, "Look, I don't want to pay the taxes, right? I want tax-free status. I want a 501(c)(3) status. So I will be neutral." But see, he betrayed that. He's not neutral. He's a political attack machine. He's proven that over and over and over again. I'm not the one that reported on it. Others have reported on it, that he is a political attack machine. And by the actions, you will know, right? By their fruit, you will know them. And absolutely, El Paso Matters have violated their 501(c)(3), and it should be stripped from them. If they're going to be a political attack dog, then they need to pay the taxes just like any other news organization that is, of all about politics, right? So let me go on here, make sure everything's okay. Oh yeah, I need to delete that one. Day 1285. Hold on, I'm gonna delete this one. Richard's case is absolutely connected to the August 3rd. Yeah, there you go. Day 1000. Okay, so whoo, getting a lot of hits already. Okay, so get out of that. So if you haven't been to TikTok, and I know that that's very controversial, but and I'm trying to get back onto Instagram also. Let's see if I'm on here. See if I can see myself. There I am. Okay. And I can hear myself. That's great. Great news. So, yeah, please go to TikTok. I know that that's controversial. I'm on Truth Social also. I'm on Facebook. I'm on, they're all a way to reach out to the masses, to different age groups, demographics, you name it. And that's what we need to do. This is a government by the people, right? Um, of the people, by the people, for the people. And so, getting out on these platforms is super important, and I'm failing on many of them. Uh, so I'm trying to rectify that and get on as many platforms as we possibly can because behind the scenes, things are really happening. We have been given hundreds of pages from our open records requests, and they're still coming in. We also were contacted by uh, DA Bill Hicks's office for a way forward on that one. And that's because of you. That's because of you watching. That's because of you sharing. We cannot wait until we have a moral, ethical DA in office or a moral, ethical general in office. We'll be waiting a long, long time if we wait for that. Right now, we just need to, uh, you know, of the people, by the people, for the people, drive them to give us justice. And not just Richard, but also so many, including the 23 that were killed in the Walmart mass shooting on August 3rd, which is Dallas Hart's birthday, in 2019. It's very, very important that we get justice because there's murderers walking around out there, okay? There are murderers walking around out there. You think that Patrick Crucius could carry this out on his own? You haven't looked hard enough at him. And we have, and I just posted it up on TikTok. We have the court sentencing of the Patrick Crucius case where the judge is sentencing him to 90 life sentences. That's about 8,000 years, right? So he's going to be in prison for a long time. I don't think he's ever going to come out. But the judge said something else. Uh, he's going to be serving that in uh, the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Okay, the prison there in Colorado, Florence, Colorado, is the AMAX. It is the highest secure prison in the United States with the worst type of offenders there, and they call it the Alcatraz of the Rockies. And so that's where he's going to be serving. He's going to be, until he dies, right? And the judge said also that he needs to get treatment. Um, it's crazy, but yep. So he will get treatment. Taxpayers will pay for that. I know you're thinking he should have got the death penalty. I understand, but he, this is so revealing if you go beyond your own grief in this mass murder case. And that is that the judge himself is admitting that Patrick Crusius has a severe mental condition. Now, this is very, very interesting because his defense attorneys, Felix Valenzuela, um, Joe Spencer, um, another Stevens guy, Mark Stevens, and there's another one on that paper that they did not put forth that he plead insanity, that he is mentally incapable of knowing what's right and wrong, and so plead insanity. Because when you have autism, you cannot plead insanity. Okay, from what I understand. Now you might correct me, but so we have it confirmed that he has autism, and the judge is saying it is severe. He has a severe mental condition. And so, what this says is he, no way could he possibly carry out what he did on his own. That means there's murderers walking around. Okay. And Glendon Oakley Jr. said there were shots fired in the mall. Okay. Many other, and I should get the list of the other witnesses that said that there were multiple shooters, right? That there were multiple shooters. And, because the media darling, Ernest Christopher Grant, said he threw soda bottles and he's maintaining that he did that at the shooter. Well, Patrick Crusius had not one spot of soda on him. And when you throw soda, it gets pretty messy, right? And and the other thing, and this is why I don't believe Chris at all. I don't believe him at all. Why isn't he arrested? He has an open arrest warrant out for him. Why, he has this long criminal record. Why did they make him a media darling? Why did even Beto pose with him, visited him in the hospital, media darling? Why did Chris Cuomo of CNN come and pose with him, media darling? Why did Donna Sifford, she said that she stopped his bleeding and all of this, but he has an open arrest. He has a very long criminal record, name it. He's done it. It's bad. It's bad. And, and then for what he is saying, what his testimony was, what was going on in Walmart was so divisive, was so horrendous, was so bad. They better scrutinize him because he is an unreliable source. He's an unreliable source according not to me, but according to the standards of law enforcement investigations. He is an unreliable source. So is Leilani Hart. She is a convicted criminal. She's, by law enforcement standards, investigative standards, she is also an unreliable source. And so is David Poche, because, we have a witness that said they were having an affair. We have a witness that said that Leilani Hart was having an affair within the CID, that she was controlling the CID. She was bragging about that because she's having an affair within the CID. And that is in the major report and everything like that. But uh, yeah, it's the main the CID report is pretty third grade work, y'all. I mean, I'm just going to lay it out on the line. It is a disgust. It's a disgust for the millions of dollars that we spend, uh, billions of dollars, trillions of dollars that we spend on our military, giving them everything. giving them everything that they want, everything that they need, giving them even a future with their retirement, giving them the buildings, giving them the vacations, giving them the staffs, giving them the sources that they then steal and sell over the border and everything. This is all kinds of reports that we're getting in, and that has been reported in the news. You know, it's not me saying it; it's been reported in the news, and now they can't even report to us when a soldier on Fort Bliss drives over to Juarez, Mexico, and shoots someone dead and stabs them on top of that, and then returns over the border, creating an international incident, goes on Fort Bliss, and then they want to say, oh, he's a good soldier or something like that. This happened in April of 2023, and now they're finally starting to let people know about this crime, this huge crime. And yeah, so with Richard's case, you can absolutely know now why they had to cover up and they had to hide Richard's remains, that they had to cover up the truth that he was forcibly removed. We believe that it was under the guise of an arrest because the law enforcement were absolutely involved in this. We know that Agent Soto is a dirty agent. We know that Agent Tavita Nusa, who was having an affair with Leilani Hart, who's the mother of Dallas Hart, Richard's platoon leader, um, that he's a dirty agent. And they already removed him from the military. He lost his badge, and then we know that Nieto is also compromised. He's the FBI supervisory agent, Jesus Eddie Nieto, who has conflicts of interest with Angela Kachurga of El Paso Matters, with Nadal Baim, the agent that went into the Dollar General that said that the FBI had found Richard's remains in Mexico, who happens to be the father in law of Lieutenant Colonel Bradford Bugado, that supervisory agent, FBI agent Nieto has also a conflict of interest with, and with his wife, and with his wife. So, it is really, and even with the medical examiner, um, it it's very clear if you have the medical examiner conflict of interest and compromise, and you have the supervisory agent in the El Paso FBI office with conflicts of interest and compromised, and then you have the media, El Paso Matters, with conflicts of interest and compromised. When you have the CID with conflicts of interest and compromise. And, and then with the DES, Thomas Kane, who, is on record saying that Richard was a good meal for the coyotes, um, you know, compromised with video CCTV footage. He's in charge of all the CCTV footage. He's in charge of all the gates, the gate guards, and he's compromised. I mean, one of his gate guards' stepdaughter was living in the barracks at the age of 14, being pimped out, and allowing, here he is. He is the director of emergency services, but he also is in charge of security on Fort Bliss, and there's all kinds of breaches in security on Fort Bliss, and he's even admitting that the JAG is compromised in his letter, that the JAG is compromised, that the command is compromised, that the arms room is compromised, that the DES is compromised, that CID is compromised, that the VA is compromised, who has access to all veterans' very sensitive files. Same thing with the CID. And then of course you have the El Paso Police Department compromised with the fake and set up trying to uh, make Richard not credible. Okay. So let's try to set him up and smear him and make him not credible. And they milked that even after he was exonerated. They milked that setup and not letting us know what was going on. See, they depend on your not being able to read all the papers so quick because you're in shock, you're in grief for what's happening to your child. And even if, this is my baby, he's my youngest one, right? And they just depend on you being in chaos and thinking that you could trust them, but you can't trust them because they didn't tell us. They didn't notify us. They didn't tell us. They didn't tell us about the 911 call that was used to set up Richard, about the El Paso police, a canine. And then we have the CBP, the Customs Border Protector, also compromised. We have Donna Sifford showing that there is a problem with training in the CBP there in El Paso because she went to the Walmart without her sidearm. She went to the Walmart without her sidearm. That is just like, and she's a port director and a veteran. A veteran, I think she's an Air Force veteran. And she goes to the Walmart without her sidearm. No, uh, no, not when you're in law enforcement. You don't do that. That's a public place, especially 3,000 people. Um, yeah, and this little excuse that they made in their little media darling presentations that, oh, well, it was just Walmart and I didn't want, no, no. I've been talking to many people. They were like, nope, that's bad. That's something's going on. Something is stinky. Something is smelly. And so, yeah, this was a political hit. This was politically organized. This was follow the money. Let's follow the money and follow the politics of the whole thing. Um, and they just wanted to divide the people. They just wanted to make a political point, and that is absolutely treasonous. I think the death penalty needs to be on the table, and the lethal injection needs to be right there in front of them because what they have done, the murder of 23 El Pasoans and Mexican nationals, and even a German national. And then the bullying of the witnesses, the bullying of a witness so bad in the military retaliated severely, continuously until, he's found dead in his barracks room in April of 2020. And then the severe retaliation that they did to Richard, the same tears, the same way that Glendon Oakley Jr. was crying in that one video. We have a video of Richard too. Them mentally just bullying you and harassing you. You think you're doing something right. You're reporting to the CID. You're reporting to the IG. The IG here is so compromised because who is the IG of the Army? Donna Martin. Donna Martin is the IG of the Army right now. She is totally needs to be arrested, totally needs to be charged and face, I believe, the death penalty. The same thing with Sean Bernabe. And I'm a Ron Paul supporter who does not believe in the death penalty. But I think that was a long time ago, and we can always change our mind. And in this case, what Donna Martin, as a three-star general, has done, what she has allowed in the CID and now in the IG, is so criminal, y'all. It is so criminal. So many people have died. So many people have been hurt by her. And the same thing with Sean Bernabe. So many of our volunteer sons and daughters. So many. He's an absolute criminal. Absolutely. He needs to be charged. To allow Richard to be smeared when he knows that Richard had been exonerated, to know that Richard had been murdered and yet to mislead us and not to tell us the truth, to look for his remains behind our back and only for us to find out through brave people that call us, to tell us that Nadal Baim, who was the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bradford Bugado in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM, oh yeah, he's a nobody, he's a nobody. What do you mean he's a nobody? He presented himself as an FBI agent, and we don't know who he is. Who is he? Oh, he's the father-in-law of G3 Lieutenant Colonel Richard's command? See, the one strong thing that element in this that we have in our favor is that we're military. We understand what G3 is. We understand, I might not, but Team Fire Richard Halliday does because we're a military family. And absolutely, when you hear G3, you think operations. And so you absolutely know how what a traitor Sean Bernabe and his SJA, PP McGee, were during those meetings through this whole thing. And they gave him a star, y'all. That means that Mealy is a traitor. That means that McConville is a traitor. They need to, oh, what is the other general's name? Garrett. General Garrett is an absolute traitor. Um, Major General Clem Coward, absolute traitor, part of this. He participated in the retaliation against Richard to shut him up, just like what they did to Glendon Oakley Jr. And they just wanted them to shut up because they wanted their narrative uh, to go forth so that they can protect their gravy train, and however they were milking the system. And that is that is so criminal. And of course Leilani Hart um, is part of that. Absolutely, James Courtney Hart, absolutely part of that in the VA IDS Pueblo, and absolutely the IG, absolutely Park University. You know, murderers are walking around, people are getting hurt. These are people, these are human beings. And these people are more concerned about their politics and the gravy train, okay? And whoever they work for, the foreign and domestic enemies. The foreign and domestic enemy. Those, the oath to protect the Constitution from foreign and domestic enemies. Those aren't just words. That's an oath. And God takes those very, very seriously. So that is, this is it's what keeps the country a country. If we are just a criminal cabal, if there's no justice, if we have no justice, if we do not put the death penalty back on the table for this kind of crime, then we're not a country anymore, because we can't even have a military then, because they weaponize their positions of power, their stars. They weaponize their stars against their own soldiers. They weaponized the justice system against the very people that they are supposed to protect. And we just put out the judge's ruling on Patrick Crusius, where he said that that Patrick Crusius is severe, has a severe mental condition. Um, I don't see the media putting that out. I don't see the media putting out that he has autism. No, what they do is they feature a major professional criminal, Ernest Chris Garrett. He's a professional criminal. His record is so long, and you can follow the money, and you can follow the money, and it really declares who he is. And they don't arrest him. He has open arrest warrants. So, like I said yesterday, is he an FBI informant? That he has been given immunity to commit crime and to mislead people. I mean, this hypnosis, this false narrative, is called a false witness, and it is a major crime, major crime, because it breaks down the whole trust of the country and the whole trust of the system, the justice system. They just walked all over it and for politics, okay, to interfere in an election. I absolutely believe that that's what they were doing. So, and Richard was reporting on those very people because there's a link, and the link is called 3705 3905 Bliss Avenue. That's what the link is called. And those people residing and working at those addresses are involved in the Walmart mass shooting case. And, there is this Dreams Cabaret too. This is a big connection to the Dreams Cabaret. And there's another one too that we're corroborating still. But absolutely, Dreams Cabaret is, a connection to what happened at Walmart and what happened in Richard's case. So, yeah, if there's any questions, thank you so much for coming on, everyone. And, we finally have been contacted and finally are getting our open records. And so just say a lot of prayers that we can get accountability, that we can get justice. And I know I sound a little harsh today, but I think everybody understands by now. Everybody understands because of how bad this is. So thank you so much. God bless you, everyone. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing.